Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you send us, articles, notes, whatever you found interesting, and we really get into them.
Yeah, we unpack the key stuff, the insights you need to know, trying to give you that shortcut to understanding.
And hopefully spark a few of those aha moments. So today, what are we diving into?
Today's topic promises something pretty big, actually. Gaining freedom and control in your life.
Okay, freedom and control. I think everyone's ears just perked up. What's the angle?
It's about a major shift in focus, like moving your attention away from trying to manage, other people, external stuff.
Stuff you can't really control anyway.
Exactly. And bringing that energy back powerfully onto yourself, onto what you can control.
Intriguing. Okay, so what's our source material for this?
We're looking at key ideas from excerpts of The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins.
Got it. So our mission today,
Unpack.
let them and let me, we want to understand what these concepts really mean.
And how the book suggests they can actually, transform things, your life, your relationships.
Right. You might unlock some personal power you didn't even know you had. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the book starts with this fundamental problem, this trap we often fall into.
Which is it?
Believing we can actually control other people, like their opinions, their drama, what they think of us.
Or even just trying to manage every little detail around us, right? Like micromanaging everything.
Totally. We kind of operate thinking if we just try hard enough or say the right thing, we can dictate how others react or behave.
Like trying to conduct an orchestra where everyone's playing jazz improv.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You feel you have to make everyone play your tune. The book uses this great story about a high school prom.
Yes, the prom story.
Yeah.
So relatable, the chaos.
Right. She's a parent, 4 proms done, thinks the sons will be easy.
Yeah.
Then bam, it starts pouring rain just as everyone's gathered.
Oh no. Tuxes, dresses, downpour, nightmare. And then the dinner plan. Or lack thereof.
Exactly. 20 kids, all dressed up, standing in the rain, and nobody knows where they're eating before the dance.
Cue the parental panic. What do you mean you don't have reservations? Where can 20 kids eat right now? That urge to fix it.
That deep need to step in, take charge, solve a problem that honestly you can't solve right then. You can't magic up a table for 20.
And the kids? They just decide, let's go to Amigos, this tiny, 4-table taco joint.
Picture it. 20 kids in formal wear trying to squeeze into this little taco shack. It's absurd. And the parents are just bothered. It feels wrong.
But that feeling, right? Being so bothered by the taco choice, trying to control the uncontrollable dinner logistics in the rain, that was the light bulb moment.
Yeah. Realizing that trying to control things you absolutely cannot control is it's a recipe for stress, for feeling agitated and ultimately powerless. It's exhausting.
And that leads straight into the core idea of the book. The whole let them theory hinges on 2 simple words.
Let them.
Let them.
Just let them. Mel Robbins explains it as giving other people the freedom, really, to say what they want, think what they want, do what they want.
And, just as crucial, accepting the things about them, about the world, that you just can't change.
Right. The book says it flat out. You can't control what other people say, think, or do. Period. That's the baseline reality.
It sounds almost too simple. Is that really enough? Just let them.
Well, that simplicity is where the freedom comes from. The argument is that saying let them is like consciously putting down this heavy backpack you didn't need to carry, the burden of managing everyone else.
Okay, talk about the example of friends going on a trip without her. Yeah, that hits home for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. The gut reaction, that old self thing, is to spiral, right? Feel rejected, left out. You want to text, call, figure out why.
Obsess about it. Wonder what you did wrong.
Exactly. The book calls it feeling inferior, jealous, insecure, left out, and less than. It's a painful loop.
Ugh, yeah. Definitely familiar.
But applying let them right then, the source says it just stopped that whole cycle cold. Saying let them go on their trip acknowledges a simple truth. They're allowed. They're allowed to live their lives, make plans, go away with whoever they want. It doesn't automatically mean something's wrong with you. It releases you from that personal indictment.
And the book ties this need to control back to fear, doesn't it? Fear of being excluded, not liked.
Yeah, fear of things falling apart if you're not holding the reins. And trying to control just makes those fears bigger, ironically.
It's interesting how it applies even to tiny daily things, like the slow checkout line.
Or the person coughing next to you on a plane, or even, political stress that feels constant.
The coughing. You can't make them stop, but you feel yourself getting tense, annoyed.
Right, and saying, let them cough or let them take their time in line isn't about liking it, it's self-protection.
How so?
It stops those small, uncontrollable things from hijacking your internal state. Your agitation ruins your day, right? The cough, the slow line, probably won't unless you let it fester.
Okay, so key insight number 1. Trying to control the uncontrollable stress and powerlessness. Saying, let them, freedom.
That's the foundation. And then comes the second part where you actively take your power back. And that's with 2 different words.
Which are, let me.
Let me. So this is the pivot inward.
Exactly. Let me is about focusing 100% on the only person you can control.
Yourself.
What you think, what you say, what you do.
And how you choose to respond to whatever life throws at you. It's about managing your internal response system.
Like choosing calm over panic. The book mentions simple things like breathing, stimulating the vagus nerve to signal calm. Let me helps you choose that deliberate response.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back to the friend trip example. So you said, let them release the need to fix it or feel bad.
Then you shift to let me. So instead of why wasn't I invited, it becomes
internal questions. Let me stop expecting other people to always include me. Or let me take responsibility for what I actually want. Maybe let me figure out what's really going on here, like realizing you haven't been putting energy into friendships lately.
And that naturally leads to action, doesn't it?
It has to. Let me be more proactive. Let me reach out. Let me actually invite people over. Let me make my social life a priority. See how the focus shifts completely from their actions to your agency. You missed your friends. Okay, you do something about it. The power's back with you.
The career example is potent, too. Boss stringing you along about a promotion.
Okay, first step. Let them. It's hard, but you accept the reality. Let them string me along. You stop banging your head against the wall wishing they were different.
You accept what is, even though it stinks.
Right. Then the powerful pivot, let me
go get it.
Exactly. Let me go get what I deserve. All that energy you were wasting being resentful, now it goes into productive action. Let me update my resume. Let me network. Let me find a job where I'm valued. The book drives home. Your career is your responsibility. You have power here. You're not just waiting for someone else to decide your future.
It really highlights that shift from dependence to self-reliance, focusing on your own effort.
It's a game changer. And this let them plus let me framework, it's super useful across different life challenges, like comparison.
Oh boy, comparison. The joy thief. The book mentions 2 kinds.
Yeah. First, there's what it calls torturous comparison. Comparing things you literally cannot change, body type, background, stuff like that. It's just self-inflicted pain.
So let them applies directly. Let them have that thing I can't change. It's acceptance, stopping the self-torture.
Right. But then there's comparison as a teacher. Seeing someone else's success not as making you less than, but as showing what's possible.
And the phrase shifts slightly. Let them lead the way. Like the neighbor, Molly, succeeding in social media marketing. It stung at first.
Because it highlighted, as the book says, the formula and the work she was avoiding. But the shift is key.
Instead of envy, it's inspiration.
Kind of. It's seeing their success as evidence.
Yeah.
Proof that it can be done. Their win doesn't shrink your odds. The book says it expands them. It shows you a potential path. Let them show me what I might be capable of.
That's a really helpful reframe. Okay, next challenge. Adult friendships. The book calls it the great scattering.
So true, isn't it? Life takes over jobs, moves, kids, and friends just scatter. It stops being a group thing like in school and becomes like an individual sport.
Yeah. And if you just wait for invites, you can end up feeling pretty isolated.
Totally. So let them is accepting that drift sometimes. Let them not text back immediately. Let them have other plans. Let them be busy. You can't control their availability.
Which means the responsibility shifts back to you with, let me.
Exactly. Let me be the one to reach out. Let me introduce myself if I'm new somewhere. Let me ask for the number. Let me suggest getting together. Let me prioritize this. The author shares her own story of moving and feeling lonely, needing to remind herself to go first, even when it felt awkward.
Like knocking on a neighbor's door or just saying hi at the coffee shop. Small steps.
Yeah, it reinforces that adult friendships require active creation. They don't just happen.
Okay, what about when you desperately want someone you love to change? Their health, a bad habit, their job situation.
Yeah. The book is pretty blunt here. Core truth. People only change when they feel like it. Pushing, nagging. It usually backfires.
Why does it backfire?
Well, the source mentions Dr. Sherritt's neuroscience work. We're wired to want control. When you pressure someone, they feel their control is threatened, and the instinct is to resist, to push back. It become a power struggle.
So let them be, accepting their timeline, even if it's painful to watch.
Pretty much. You
Yeah.
accept you can't force it. And let me becomes about shifting from pressure to influence. Maybe modeling the behavior you want to see, like taking healthy walks yourself.
Or using positive reinforcement, like the book mentions.
Yeah,
Celebrating small steps they do take.
right. Complimenting a healthy meal choice, showing affection when they do something positive, tapping into the brain's reward system. You influence, you support, but you ultimately let them make the choice.
This gets really tough when someone is seriously struggling. Addiction, mental health crisis. The book doesn't shy away from this.
No, and it's hard advice. You cannot want their healing more than they do. Sometimes trying to rescue them actually prevents them from hitting a bottom that might motivate change.
The phrase, the more you rescue, the more they sink. That's stark.
It is. Like the example of letting the anxious daughter sleep on the floor, it seemed kind, but it taught avoidance, making the anxiety worse long term.
Or cutting off financial support for an adult child who isn't taking responsibility. That's incredibly difficult.
It can be. Let them struggle might have to mean let me stop enabling this as a wake-up call. But it's not abandonment, it's redirecting support.
So what is the right way to support, according to the source?
It's not fixing, it's holding space. Offering practical help that doesn't take over, like bringing paper plates, not cleaning their whole house, being a source of hope, believing in them. The idea is let them borrow their belief from you. You walk alongside, you support, but you don't carry them. They have to walk their path.
Okay, last big area, love, dating, heartbreak. Dating can be rough.
Understatement. We waste so much energy decoding mixed signals, chasing people who aren't really available.
Well, it gets through that.
It's meant to. Let them not text you back. Let them be confusing. Let them send mixed signals. It's not condoning it. It's accepting it as information about them, seeing their behavior for what it is without excuses.
And let me follows logically from that acceptance.
Yes, let me see them clearly. Let me accept this truth. And crucially, let me stop investing my energy here. Let me choose people who choose me back. It's about reclaiming your worth and your time.
The book brings up compatibility too, right? And the Gottman's research on unresolvable problems.
Yeah, that some core differences just aren't going to change. If you want kids and they absolutely don't, for instance, let them. Applies there too. Let them be who they are. You accept they won't change on this fundamental thing. And let me might mean making the hard choice to leave for your own well-being.
And when heartbreak happens, let them isn't about not feeling pain, is it?
No, not at all. The pain is real. But let me is about directing your focus towards healing. Let me grieve. Let me feel this sadness. Let me resist calling them. The source gives concrete let me actions. 30 days, no contact. Change your environment. Reach out to friends. Fill your schedule. Take on a challenge and ask that amazing question.
How would I spend my time if I knew the love of my life was around the corner?
Right. It shifts your energy towards building your future, even while healing from the past.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it all comes back to the relationship with yourself, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The book sums it up perfectly. Let them be them so you can finally let me be me.
It connects everything. We spend so much time trying to control the outside world, other people,
Mm-hmm.
their opinions, their choices, things that are ultimately, outside our control.
But you are always in charge of yourself, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and how you respond.
Like the sky analogy in the book.
Mhm.
Can't change the weather, but you choose how you navigate under it.
And taking that responsibility for yourself, for your reactions, it's presented not as a burden, but as liberating. It frees you from needing others' approval, from being defined by them, and lets you put that energy into your life, your dreams.
You stop fighting the unwinnable battle of controlling others and start the powerful work of mastering yourself.
So the big takeaway from digging into the let them theory, it's this framework, this mindset shift for finding freedom and reclaiming your power.
And it's not a magic wand, right? The source says it's not easy. It takes practice. Doesn't guarantee outcomes.
No, but it redirects your focus, your precious energy to the one place you do have control, yourself.
And when you think about how much time and energy we spend worrying about or trying to change others,
Yeah. Imagine what becomes possible when you decide to just let them and really step into let me.
the book leaves us with a powerful thought, especially if self-belief is a struggle right now. If you don't believe in you, let me believe in you. If you don't know you can do it, let me know it for you. Kind of an invitation to start that inner work.
A really empowering note to end on.
Well, thank you for going on this deep dive with us today.